Patty's going for the bottle.
Karen is letting Patty know that if Patty wants to have a bottle, Patty will have to pay for it.
Pay for it?
Yes.
I don't see
Each
a price
one.
tag on it.
These don't have a price tag because they're in the range of if you ask, you can't afford it.
I didn't realize this had your fucking name on it.
It has all of our names on this.
Yeah, so you know what? It has my name on it. I'll take part in what's mine. And I start walking over.
Each one you take down, I will keep track of, and we will make sure is made compensated for the rest of us for your cut in that.
Let me count here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we divide that, that's like 2.5 bottles for each of us. So I get 2.5 bottles, and I won't touch anybody else's. How about that? I won't touch yours. I am a woman of my word. But I get what's mine, you get what's yours, then we're square and even.
Let me put it this way. For each one of those 2.5 bottles that you're privy to, you can buy a lifetime's worth of bottles.
Great. You know what's going to be even better about it? The feeling it goes down my throat and the feeling I get from it. And I pull it up, cork open one, and start drinking.
All right. Karen takes out her tally book and marks one down under Patty.
You know what? I'll leave the half bottle for somebody else. I'll get 2 full for myself and put them under my arms and walk out.
All right.
Okay.
Dalton, having been sitting there for that whole conversation, is just staying as quiet as possible, not to get between the two of them.
It's apparently his landlord saying rent is due.
Perfect. Krill is going to open up Swain's accounts. So she's just like, she doesn't even have to hack. She's just like scrolling. Wait, why is his bank account already open? He's got nothing. He's got nothing.
Most things in NSF are actually very well scheduled and regulated and tightly controlled, right? But underneath that surface is just a network, a pyramid of fucking subletting and non-contractual agreements and black market dealings and just handshake agreements and cryptocurrency transfers. Who here has been a criminal for more than 12 months? Karen, put your fucking hand up. Fucking Aspen's so far into character. Like, no. It is God himself. It's God himself asking Karen, for the love of fucking everything. Put your fucking
Karen's
hand up.
like, I have not acted as one for...
What specific ones?
It's been 2 weeks.
You have not gone in 24 hours, 365 days.
Okay.
Yet.
So Jacob, Dalton, and Karen. Freebooter.
I blew up a person's ass.
I do remember that. That was a lot of fun. All right. Sounds good. Group account.
Okay. The media want to know what you want to call your party name.
Oh, Jesus. I'm so bad.
Oh, God. Now we have to think of that.
It has to be in character for Dalton, too.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Actually, is Jacob here right now? I didn't see him.
He's cataloging the boom booms right now.
Oh, goddamn. Okay, do you have a suggestion, Karen? Maybe we're the freeloaders or something. Oh, I'm so bad at this.
Sparkle Kittens.
Dalton looks around the room. Sees Krill just digging through drawers.
No, Krill's now looking at like, what's a kitten?
Sparkle Kitten it is.
Okay.
Oh my god. This is how we
I am.
Wait,
I do not know what has been agreed to. I'm not sure if I agree to this. What is happening?
Dalton turns to Karen. Oh man, if only Patty didn't leave the room with the alcohol, she could have talked us down from this.
There's 12 other over there.
Yeah.
That's all she can focus on.
Okay. Surprisingly enough, according to the app's quick database check, Sparkle Kittens is not a pre-taken name, so the name is available.
Dalton looks at Karen. Hey, we don't even have to add a number or numerical to the back of it. We just get Sparkle Kittens. That's awesome.
You see the names running down. It's Deathmaster, Grim Reaper, 4264, and then you've got XX_/killer_ I love to fuck your mom 24.
Branding is all about standing out in a crowd.
I definitely think Sparkle Kittens is going to turn some heads. This is a great idea. Dalton just
By the way,
lost in it.
for everybody who isn't there, I want you to know it's spelled Spahkle.
What?
It's Sparkle Kittens.
Oh no.
It's spelled in Dalton's
Sparkle
accent.
Yes.
It's Sparkle Kittens.
Yeah, it's a
Sparkle.
non-rhotic R. So it's
Can you
Spaka.
spell it again one more time?
Spahkle. Spaka. Sparkle.
Okay.
Sparkle.
Kittens.
Sparkle
SKs.
Kittens.
Just call us the SKs.
All right.
There
So,
we go.
God. Why?
Way to get around it.
so
And she's just like, you watched me get shot. And she aggressively starts cataloging.
Troy plays the tambourine.
Honestly, this is the horniest post I've ever seen on this app, but I think it works.
Focus on game. Focus on game.
So Troy has activated butler mode, and he's going around and he's just cleaning basic stuff. If he like finds a duster or something or a broom, he's picking it up and he's dusting stuff and sweeping stuff. And every once in a while, though, every time he does a cleaning action, though, he actually does momentarily change from his usual kind of just stiff, upright position and takes on kind of a weird, like, sexy pose while doing it. And then whenever the task is completed, he returns back to his default, stiff, proper, upright position kind of pose.
Jacob, give me a roll.
Oh fuck! God damn it! I hate all of you.
Stepped
people.
into that bear trap.
You motherfuckers! Damn it! I got a -1.
Butlers.
Hey, Aspen. Just a point of order, because I gave you the price on those bottles. I was wrong about that. Could you just go ahead and triple that?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I went and did some research
Yeah, let's go.
really fast about.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
fun
Oh.
fucking time.
Yeah, I don't even know what that number is, but I'm now scared of it.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. Go ahead and do
swig
that.
is hundreds of credits in my mouth.
Yeah, Patty is
Hundreds.
engaging in.
Oh no, hon.
Yeah, Patty is
No.
engaging in some
More?
fucking decadence right now.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah! All right, this is how I be bougie. Fuck actual
You
money.
might have
Let me
just
drink my
drank the
goddamn
rent
wine.
money.
Yeah, you're decadent. You're not actually
Hey,
bougie.
We got 12 other fucking bottles. It's fine.
Dude. All right.
Well, I do
I-
argue a level of decadence is a human right. Wow, that's painful.
I'm
That's a
almost-
lot.
Just
I-
remember, it's on the ledger, Patty. It's on the ledger.
Either well,
This
Either
is
way.
Garnish
this is-
Patty's
this is-
wages.
This is my response as I uncork the bottle.
Just drink. Either way, Patty and Jacob are now finally heading over to the noodle stand.
Jigu is standing out by the stand. He's just, he's chopping some scallions and doing some ginger for the big boiling wok that they have to keep going for the sauces. And he's just
I like sidle up to the stool and you coming, Jacob?
Oh, yeah. Let me just, and he just eventually just takes his place next to Patty.
Jigu looks up and goes, "My man, my bitch."
And Jacob just kind of pinches the bridge of his brow, just remembering how this motherfucker got those 250 credits out of him.
I'm turning to Jacob and I'm like, I'm not allowed to kill this guy, am I?
Jigu hears this, looks at you, and goes, "Psh, like you could."
My taser is in my pocket, and I'm just considering like pulling it out under the table.
He glances at the cutting board where his fucking pistol is.
Who would hit it first?
You just
roll.
Oh my
No, God. I'm not actually doing it. I was just.
Oh, then Jigu definitely has that gun up at you already.
Oh.
As soon as you say who can get to it first, that pistol's up.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there as he's pointing it at me. I'm like, not bad. I hope you're not that fast in other places.
Really? You insult a 12-year-old sex life. Damn,
12-year-old? Oh
damn,
my God.
Damn, you dumb as
Jesus Christ.
God.
I
Do you not
take
remember?
No, I don't. I didn't remember. Okay.
So wow.
The whole reason you wrestled him was he was a child with a gun last session.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a good memory sometimes.
Either way, throughout this whole exchange, Jacob could see Jacob's face change from one of just like cringing about getting hustled to like
without even taking his eyes off Patty and still with the fucking pistol like up, just sprinkles some cilantro and some scallions on a bowl and slides it across to Jacob.
And just like with that, just without even saying a word, he just transfers the credits. Just like, hey, I know. They both just kind of know what's up.
Fucking Jigu just does a quick spin, holsters it.
Cool. Well, in the meantime, do you mind if I order a bowl myself? I don't care how much you charge me, as long as it's reasonable. I'm gonna take care of his hand. All right.
Jigu slides you a bowl of noodles, pushes the condiment tray over to you, and says, "This one's on the house. I've already taken enough out of your ass."
I just take off my sunglasses and I'm like, fair. I don't even care about. Fuck.
Do you still have the bottles with you?
Yeah.
They're both in my backpack at the moment.
Oh no.
All four pluses. He just rolled plus 4.
Fuck.
He just rolled plus 4.
I love Jigu. He's so
He
great.
just rolled plus 4 right out of the gate. Hey, Patty. Hey, Patty.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a roll from you.
Okay.
Oh no.
I actually hate this kid.
Lucky number 4.
-2.
This kid's amazing.
Oh no.
You have one bottle.
What the fuck?
They're both in my backpack.
You have one bottle now.
You have one
You have
bottle.
one bottle.
Oh, I drank it all?
No.
No.
Jigu.
No, listen.
Jigu.
Your backpack's completely shut. A New Yorker pickpocket is getting it out of it without you ever knowing that
He's in
zipper
front
is
of me.
undone.
And
It doesn't matter.
he's going to
Jigu.
serve you noodles. You are going to look down at those noodles, and he is going to go to rob you of something because he is a little 12-year-old pickpocket.
Yeah.
And when he goes to rob
they
you
own
of
the
something,
house.
that 12-year-old is going to find a bottle of alcohol, actually 2, in your one partially consumed, one not consumed in your bag. He is going to automatically assume that a bottle with some fucking old-ass label on it is probably worth something and is going to target that specifically.
Look, Look, to be
All
fair,
right.
you have just given Jigu his yearly salary and then some.
You know what? He can have it. He deserves it.
You don't.
He kicked my ass.
Patty
You don't
doesn't
even know.
Patty doesn't
Yeah.
even know it's gone.
I don't. Patty doesn't know, but I'm out of character. He deserves it. Fine.
So
I
Jigu,
accept
hold
my
on.
fate.
I need to note that for Jigu's character.
love-
Actually, he's
I
now in
fucking love
he's
Jigu.
Okay.
he's
Goddamn
now
How-
he's now in
It's an
possession.
aspect for that, right?
Yeah. He's now in possession of one bottle of Leroy Domaine d'Auvergne mais Chambertin Grand Cru.
How does this kid literally reach into my backpack? How? Like
They
that's
have
like
I'm gonna be
You were-
real. This
you were-
happens in real life.
you were-
Like,
no.
people
There's
can-
like a level here that it's
No,
like,
it really is that easy.
No.
It really is that
It can
easy.
be. It
He's
is.
people
he's-
reach over your shoulder into your backpack all the time in places like New
it's
York.
literally zipped closed.
Oh,
It would
that's-
make a
Maybe
big
don't
noise.
look
There,
Doesn't matter.
there are just some people that have that
So,
level of experience.
A lot of pickpockets will have hooks up their sleeves, and I mean literal hooks, which they will go on your zipper. So as their hand raises, not touching you, they're slowly opening your zipper more gently than they would have if they grabbed it and pulled. Like you just aren't
And-
feeling it. These are
and-
professionals.
Aren't feeling it, aren't hearing it.
He's put you off. He's put you off. He's shaken you. He's rattled you mentally a little bit. He's given you food in front of you that provides a
I
little
hate
bit of
this
cover,
kid.
and you are turned to your side, attempting to work on Jacob's hand as you stated. Jigu,
Also, you're tipsy from a
I-
little bit of wine.
yeah. Also, you're
I
drunk.
hate this kid. I hate him.
Get used to him.
So-
Don't fucking.
You're probably also watching the gun more than anything else right now. It was just
Oh yeah,
in
that
your
is
face.
true. He just
So-
told you up like 2 seconds ago.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean I've stared down guns. That doesn't bother me.
The puppy.
Alright.
okay. So there's
You just
So,
have to be here for
there's
1 minute.
Jigu's one bottle.
Alright. Is it the partially consumed or the full one?
Oh no, he doesn't. He's smart enough to take something that is intact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Seal and
Alright.
everything. I mean, look, you don't stick around after you put a couple of people down. You know how it is.
I support this DM NPC so much.
He's just mean mugging you right now. He's just fucking sitting there, just fucking staring at Patty.
You realize my eyes are up here.
Your eyes are wherever I want them to be.
Oh, fuck you.
Damn.
At this point, Jacob's just like, he can't
I'm-
hold it back. He's just laughing at this point. He's
I'm
laughing
taking
his
the
ass
fucking
off.
noodles. I'm taking them, putting them in like a container. I'm like, go fuck yourself. And
This kid knows the streets, and at night he reads James Bond novels. Like he's not just an ass kicker. He's smooth at it.
why does the mascot have to be the fucking kid who just punked me?
Look,
Why?
Because it was funny
Exactly.
enough.
yeah.
That's exactly why.
I feel that's the one part of like the missed episode 3 that people right now are fucking didn't get to see is or hear is that Jigu absolutely punking Patty out in the middle of a fight.
I also found that fight was really badass, so I really liked the energy we also had during it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
And credit to Patty for taking like 3 swings at Jigu during that fight, like really trying to stop him from hurting
Not a
himself
fucking
or others.
thing. And it didn't even do a fucking thing.
No,
But yeah,
no,
that-
but credit.
credit on the medic mom brain.
Yeah.
No credit for the follow through.
you were just up against a superior being. That's all.
Yeah.
Listen, you are a
superior
nanny.
brain.
You are a nanny. That is the child they could not train you for.
I've seen dirtier ports. Karen's looking at everybody like, what?
Can I not?
Yeah, I mean, like,
I don't want people to be able to call me 24/7 and I
That it
have
would
to
no.
hear it.
No, that is not what we are creating here. That would make it a complete risk of all of our systems.
Yeah, it
We are
risks my own
creating-
sanity.
Uh-oh.
I like drunk Patty. Just out of character.
Okay, so you guys are arguing in this room,
Yeah.
to one degree or another, about efficacy. Krill is advocating one direction for effective device implementation in communication systems, just looking at probably purely utilitarian. And the rest of you are very much, or at least outside of Troy having a moment for himself.
Troy just needs to update his systems. Like, there's no hardware.
The three remaining humans seem to be very resistant to the idea of getting any additional tech. But what that means is that Dalton has slipped out the door and is now by himself.
No.
Yeah.
You fool! You fool!
The Harambe has escaped.
And as we have
Is it on
already,
his page yet? Is this aspect on his page yet?
as we've determined,
It should be.
things happen to Dalton seemingly when he's alone.
It's too fucking
Oh,
good,
no.
dude.
Oh,
God. Yeah, buddy.
Yes!
That's what the
I
coin
love it.
flip was.
Yes. It was whether something happens or not. Because Dalton was narratively by himself once more.
Oh, lol.
So where
And
are
yes,
you, Dalton?
Misadventure is on my sheet. Right now, I've just slid out of the room. The door's probably closed behind me, and I'm just remembering that there's a noodle shop outside, and I haven't eaten in a couple hours. I don't even know where I'm sleeping in this place. Dalton's gonna head out and maybe get some food and clear his head.
Cool. Jigu is right across the way. Constantly stirring, constantly keeping that bowl of broth, rich broth going. He, despite being this sort of like ne'er-do-well, fucking street urchin kid, he does show a level of discipline towards the dish. The noodles are life. Like his father taught him that no matter what happens in your life, you keep that bowl of broth going, you can always eat at night, you can always feed yourself, you can always make a few bucks, right? You can always make a few creds off the noodles, right? So he actually is like very diligent in his practice of maintaining that broth and keeping that noodle stand going, despite having a bit of a behind the scenes life. So he's standing there just stirring and adding as you come at him.
Hey kid, can I get a bowl of noodles? It's one of those hard days. You know how it is.
He looks you up and down, like seems to almost like peer into your fucking soul, man. Like this kid's like reading you. And he just takes out like a double-sized bowl, right? He just pulls one out from underneath and just starts filling it up. And you see him slip some ingredients from under the counter rather than the dishes. And you're getting the good shit right now. You're getting the actual Tianjin spices. You're getting the actual fucking stuff. And he slides that across to you and gives you a pair of chopsticks and one of those big fucking spoons that they have. And says, have at it, man. Looks like you could use it.
I appreciate it. One day you think you're making a bunch of friends, the next day they want to drill metal into your face. It's oh boy.
Usually I'm the one drilling some metal into their face, but I hear you, my man. I hear you.
You are an unsettling young man.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's NSF. It's fucking, you grow up on these streets. You got to keep them guessing.
Yeah, you know what? I don't disagree. That's actually a pretty good point. Dalton starts going at his noodles, looks up from it. Kid, this is bussin'. You really make a good noodle.
Thanks, man. He slides a cold beer across to you.
Oh my god, for real? Is this the real stuff? I mean, the real stuff?
As real as any 12-year-old in NSF can get you, my man.
That's what I'm looking for, kid. Pops the top and starts drinking.
It's actually real.
Oh, shit.
12-year-olds absolutely can fucking find alcohol in NSF. Absolutely can find alcohol in NSF. They have an easier time of it probably than a 45-year-old. They've got the connections.
Kid, I thought you were going to finesse me at the table here, but it appears It appears we're good. I can appreciate that.
Ah, man. I got your back. I got your back. Don't worry about it. I see what y'all doing over there. Fucking Swain was a piece of shit, man. He's a fucking piece of shit. I'm glad he's dead.
Honestly, I didn't realize till we got in there. He's got a mech with a stick shift. What the
Yeah,
hell?
I remember the day they brought that shit in. Dude, they had to crate it in. I don't think it works, but holy shit, yeah.
Oh, I'll find something to make it work. If I have to stick a V8 in the back of that thing, I'm going to.
You're a fucking motorhead. Holy shit.
Oh hell yeah! The way you've been making noodles, the way I've been fixing cars most of my life.
Oh man, dude, I gotta tell you, I've never even really like driven a car. It's all motorcycles for me, man. You grow up on bikes in these back streets.
Oh no, I get it. I get it. It's a whole culture here. But if ever you want to hit a drift or a skid in one of my rides, like, let's go to town on it. Hell yeah, I'll teach a 12-year-old how to drive. I don't care.
Fuck yeah. Dude, we should hang out one of these nights. You ever go to the fights over at the Shard?
I've heard of them, but I've never actually been. I've picked some people up from there. I've had a couple bloody bodies in my car from those nights.
Your boy
never got
fucking
in.
Jacob. There's no way that your boy Jacob hasn't been to the fights. Your boy Jacob, me. We hit up the fights one of these nights. Maybe we stop by a dollhouse on the way back. Who knows?
Hey, now you're speaking my language. I'm into it.
All right. We'll figure some stuff out.
And Dalton just goes back to his double wide bowl, just going down on it.
Like
sex.
Zigu goes, I got some stuff I'm gonna take care of in the back. You watch the place for me?
Oh yeah, no problem. I got you.
My
We got each other.
my man. He fucks off into the back room. You can hear some like boxes and some probably clang. You just working your noodle bowl.
Turns out Zigo has a tragic backstory where his dad got shot and now he runs his noodle stand.
Dalton.
Yeah.
Hey there, how are those noodles?
Dalton turns around to look at the
Sitting on the stool right next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Giordano, but everybody calls me Bruno. That's you, eh?
Hey, look at you. You're finally catching up.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. How you been? He takes a few spoonfuls of the noodles, looks back up. Oh, we still got that deal? You wanna hook me up?
He's just sitting there staring at you. Silently. Just looking at you.
Giordano, but everybody calls me Bruno. I just wanted to know, if you happen to know, it would do me a massive favor if you knew who set us up for that meeting, that explosion, who got us that job, because that's kind of been weighing on me a little bit. It came from our fixers, obviously, I know that part, but the upper chain.
Fixer? I can't fix her. I didn't break her.
Okay. Where are you from?
Oh, you know me. I'm from everywhere. I've been around for a while.
So you've been in NSF for a while. You know these streets. You know how things run.
I'm an old timer. I come from what used to be known as Palo Alto.
Okay, Dalton, clueless.
Dalton. The next time you blink, gone.
Looks back at his noodles, looking at like the muddy reflection in it, just thinking.
Jigu pops his head out carrying a box. You talking to yourself out here?
Oh yeah, sometimes I do that just to keep engaged. Sometimes I kind of drift off, so I like to keep current.
All right. He just puts the box down, walks in the back.
God damn. I gotta figure out what the hell's happening with this guy.
It's just everything firing up. Don't worry about it.
No. I saw like a. Is that a Pop-Tart on a cat?
You don't know
What's
what
a
a
Pop-Tart?
you wouldn't know what a Patty wouldn't even have that reference.
Listen, that company lost the product wars.
Okay.
That lost the corporate.
All right, cool.
In fact, I'll establish in lore right now, through the corporate wars and the consolidation, Pop-Tart is a defunct brand, but Toaster Strudel is the reigning one, and it's owned by Blue Sky Corporation. There you go.
Okay.
There's the lore.
Why do we have?
Live with that.
She's always listening. And that sometimes means she's listening in the heart way too.
Before we go anywhere else, Troy, I think it'd be nice if your head was maybe waterproof. Do you think we could fix that? Krill, I'm looking at you more than anyone. Assuming
She
that
is
you
looking.
know how
No,
to
she's
use-
looking at Troy. She 100% heard one thing and went, "Well, it's his decision."
My internal schematics are compromised. I cannot read them, so I am not 100% certain I can fully repair the damage.
I am not certain I could repair it per se exactly as is. I am able to make a proper patch for it that will ensure you are water safe.
Yeah. At least water safe would be great.
It's a good starting point.
I would appreciate being water safe. I will. If you make the patch, I will apply it myself.
Krill looks a little like that's actually harder. Like she gives you a look at like that's not how this works. Krill, as a demonstration. Actually, Kai, can I spend a fate point to do one thing while Krill was in that main operating system?
What do you want to do?
Could she bootstrap her network to the central building network?
I'm gonna need you to do rolls and checks for that.
Fair enough.
I turn to Jacob. I don't speak robot. What the fuck's going on?
Fuck, no, she could not.
Jacob just looks back at Patty, just like, I couldn't tell you.
I only asked because I was hoping she, without having to line in, could, just make the arm start move. No. She takes the port out, plugs it into the operating table, and says, and actually, you just see her nonchalantly take some of the scrap material from the half-built spine that is in this corpse, and just unclicks it and sits it there, and then one of the arms starts deconstructing it. And a separate arm collects material and lifts and aims for Troy's head. Troy, if you will consent to the operation.
Troy backs up. Troy backs up and he almost looks scared.
Troy, give me a roll.
Ooh.
0.
Could I get a vibe check on what Troy's experiencing?
Give me a roll.
+0.
He's a robot, man.
I got 4 in empathy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And he's still a robot.
He's a robot, man. If you had done something stupid with that, if I had seen a legendary or like a 6 or maybe even a 5, I'd maybe have thrown you a bone on that one. But
Yeah, that's fair.
you can interpret this however you want to interpret it. Now, Patty can internalize that interpretation. But as far as a GM ruling on what is true and what isn't true as far as this goes, it is officially, he's a robot, man. So, yeah. Troy, you don't know what you're feeling either, it seems like. Something is happening. You don't seem too consciously aware of whatever's at work here.
Yeah, that's actually kind of what I had pictured, but Troy is processing something, and he gets stuck in a loop a couple of times until he just breaks himself of the loop and attempts and is no longer trying to process whatever he was just trying to process. However, he says, I would prefer to attempt to repair the damage myself.
Okay.
Understandable.
Krill
Krill just kind of looks at everyone. We have matter in current mid tangible creation. Would anyone like to take this opportunity for any minor augmentation?
Oh, and the whole time Karen definitely has one of these and is just
Gripping.
We still need to get those ice cream cones.
Krill, dead
That's right.
ass, will take all of this, but she knows in the back of her mind if she didn't do what she did, you all died, including her.
Yep.
So first point of order for this job is we need to do a little bit of recon. We need to figure out what the fuck's going on down there before we jump in and get ourselves shot in the ass.
I mean, if you get shot in the ass, I'll just patch it back up.
I'm not into it. Aerodrome Warehouse, number 4183. Beautiful. Troy, can you look at the cameras out on the street near the warehouse, the Aerodrome Warehouse 4183 for me?
Troy jumps back into the net, and first he looks up the location of what she said, this warehouse 4183. And if it shows up, he's going to head down the network towards that location, or however the net stuff works.
Okay. Physical locations and net locations, as far as addressing go,
different things.
They can be separate or they can be tied to each other, right? A physical network address could be, very much its in-world net location, or it could be separated. Either way, you begin navigating towards these electronic devices because what you're doing isn't net running per se. What you're actually doing is traveling through the various electronic devices and the underpinnings of the infrastructure itself as you head towards these devices. Now, as Troy just projects his electronic consciousness forward through this network, as you, for all intents and purposes, instantaneously transfer in that direction, time stretches out for you. And in that moment, as you're essentially just sort of traveling towards this destination, give me a roll.
-3. Oh no.
No, you're fine. I just need to know things. As you're traveling towards this destination, you become aware of a swirling, multi-polyhedral entity within this space that's sort of orbiting you.
Uh-oh. Troy is definitely taking notice of this thing, but he doesn't really acknowledge it just yet, and he's still continuing down his path.
As you continue, this vortex of electrons continues circling around you, only it starts coalescing. It starts becoming a more coherent pattern. You can start to almost understand it. At least it becomes near legible for you. Within this space, this pulsating electron, it begins to take form, and you start to see an object almost come into being next to you. And it sort of separates from the circle. And it comes in. Give me a roll.
+2.
As this object comes in, it just comes into contact with what you almost perceive to be your shoulder, or where your shoulder should or would be. And as it does, you feel software being installed on your hardware.
No! I should have fucking tetrahedral. I should have fucking known.
As you start to feel this process happen, you start to see the space slightly differently. Rather than running through hardware and electrons, suddenly you're starting to be able to interpret. You're starting to see protocols. You're starting to see code streams. You're starting to see, is that encrypted data that just went by? And out of this starts to come form. And this circle starts to come into swirls of code. And you start to be able to see the code. And then it coalesces on one side of you. And an entity takes form. And he looks at you and says, holy shit, kid. You're out here fucking running around without an IDS. Like, that's stupid. Holy shit. That's like going to a fucking dollhouse without some shrink wrap on your pecker. You got to get an IDS in you, kid. I just managed to install an entire interface for the net on you so I could communicate with you, and you didn't even attempt to stop me. He reaches out his hand, and you start to see pieces of code come into being, and they start to take shape. And they coalesce, and they shoot across at you again. You see in your vision now, the bottom left-hand corner, next IDS. Created by passerby.
Oh.
There. Now at least you're not running around out here without a condom on. You now contain two abilities. One, the ability to interact with the software layer of the net. You have had client software for the net installed on your platform. Two, you now possess an intrusion detection system that will serve as a notice buff when you're in the net to alert you if software is attempting to be installed.
Troy looks at his whole digital hand, and he's processing this rather abstract form of communication this entity is giving him, and states, I do not require a condom. I am incapable of getting diseases.
This guy sort of stands back, looks at you, and all of a sudden, a HUD just in front of him. And you can just see things being selected on this HUD. And then he starts scanning you. He's running a deep port scan on you.
Troy has no idea what the hell any of this is, but so he's not really resisting.
It's the thing basically Krill asked him to do, and he said no.
This process, vroom, 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 vroom. Holy shit, you're not real. Son, I thought you were some fucking guy out here running a proxy through a Troy bot and some sort of sketchy fucking maneuver. You're actually a Troy bot. How in the fuck? Who programmed you to hack?
I have been programmed by the Red Sky Corporation. I'm assuming.
He reaches out. No, you would not be. You'd be probably Uradello or one of the subsidiaries, but we can
Okay,
sort
whatever.
that out later.
I kind of pulled that one out of my ass. It
Yeah.
could be whatever.
Yeah. But either way, he looks at you and fucking, you see, ding, and what accounts to essentially is just nothing more than a simple ping, but in the digital realm is him reaching out and like poking at you when you say that. And he just sort of, one finally got loose from the lab, huh? All right. He reaches out his hand and says, "Come with me."
Troy is actually just a little confused for a second here because now he kind of has two conflicting orders. But he also still has that whole follow every order he's given. So he changes course and he follows him.
Passerby looks at your hand and grabs your hand and takes it. It says, "I have got a trip for you." Whew. Everything you were seeing is gone. Down to a singular point. Spreads out to a line. All of a sudden, you're getting the sense of movement. You're getting the sense of speed. And then all of a sudden, almost as if over a horizon, you see lights. You see things hovering in the sky. You see islands floating. You see vehicles. You see streets and lights and signs and advertising. You hear voices, so many voices. You start to see buildings and alleyways and boats and rivers, all being symbolic of programs and scripts and data streams. You're now experiencing the net for the first time as if a human, a net runner, would experience it. If you happen to be looking to your side, what's actually next to you is a ghostly image of code swirling in vortexes, and passerby is just grinning, knowing full well that any good netrunner's dream of bringing chaos to the networks may just be unfolding before his very eyes. And he's just right chuffed with himself for unleashing whatever it is. He doesn't know. You don't know. No one knows. But he does know he just saw something that didn't exist before and gave it the keys to the kingdom. And we see that Troy is standing there stark bollock naked. That when an avatar is first generated for a user entering the net, they are created naked, as all clothes and items are either scriptable, programmable items that you can craft yourself, or they are purchased items. So, passerby, being a denizen of these parts for quite some time, and having been well established, has, in fact, a very slick, matte black, flat, sort of Asian-inspired number going on. Little bit of style, but not really drawing much attention to himself. Whereas most avatars you see in the net are garish and flashy and talking penis heads and these sorts of things. Whereas a true connoisseur, somebody who understands and speaks this language, understands the nuances of coding a human face, of texture, of cloth. This is where the skill is shown. And so in the demure, in the subtle, if you can read the scene, it shows you what you're looking at: a newborn babe and an experienced master. But with that, Passerby has a good chuckle to himself. I kid, we can't have you fucking walking through the street naked like this. Let's get you some fucking clothes. And with that snap of the finger, a panel comes up and just a flash. Because what happens in the net is the digital representations of what's happening in this individual's mind. So the quicker they can be, the wiser, the more intelligent, the more they have at their disposal, the faster they can accomplish a task. And in that flash, there's a blinding light of code as it swirls up and then collapses back down. And you're left standing there in a fairly well-appointed number. What are you wearing, Troy?
Well, technically, since Troy doesn't quite yet have an idea of self-initiative, technically, whatever it is going to be what Dalton,
Passerby.
Thank you. Passerby has picked out for him, and I know. Let's say, since he already kind of looks like, has the facial features of Agent Smith, he gets dressed up in a nice, sleek tuxedo.
Fair enough.
And it even gets accompanied, just for the sake of the aesthetics, with a little earpiece in his ear.
There you go. The net. A digital playground. A refuge for humanity. As people took to the megacities, as people built the arcologies, as the sky rises got higher and higher and the cities became more and more dense, the net became more and more populated. The net, a playground, a refuge, eternally night, streets of black, yet marked, onloading zones, embarkments, we call them ports. Places where people arrive, because you can't just have people beaming in from above. That would rain chaos. So the protocols dictate that people arrive by ports. And there are ports separated out. 256 ports, in fact, separated by 256 kilometers in a circle. All pouring inwardly towards the street. The main area, the main strip of the net where humanity congregates. Space here is at a premium. The early denizens of the net definitely have carved out a good portion of it. The protocols and code that run this space were created by runners long before. And there are backdoors and ways. There are groups and operating modalities that have been created, built into, snuck into, broken into over the ages. So if you happen to be here back in the day, then you probably are pretty well off now. But being well off in the net isn't necessarily a direct translation to being well off in the real world. Many of the most important people with the largest amount of land, the most contacts and resources in this space live in hovels in the real world. This place is not the real world. It's the net. Buildings, streetlights, signs, all representative of code and script that's being executed and run behind the scenes. As you travel down the main street of the net, what you find is that your avatar people just walk right through you. Collision detection in this space of the net was deemed not worth computing in their early days. So there is no avatar collision in this area. Off one direction, there's combat and arenas and shooters and war and terrorism. Down another, creativity and arts and art collectives, musicians. All of the best and worst of humanity is represented in the net, including advertisements as one goes flying by your head down the street. Most people, they don't see the advertisements. Well, at least the people that matter in the net don't see the advertisements. Passerby would be oblivious to all of this because none of this code gets executed near his system. It's all scraped out. Well before. He guides you down the street and off a side street and into a unassuming yet decently sized section of space and invites you inside to what amounts to his house on the net. I assume you continue following?
Troy is continuing to follow, yes. But he's distracted. He's looking at everything, every little detail that goes by. Anything flashy, anything bright, anything that is worth looking at that catches his eye is interesting. He's just, his head's just like swiveling all around the place.
I think as you take every corner, passerby has to pause and probably grinningly look at you as your attention comes back, as he finds his place in his doorway, once more calling your attention forward, drawing you into the house. It's a fairly decently appointed digital space. There seems to be a fair amount of equipment in here, which is highly representative of daemons and protocols and custom scripts and software that he has working on his side, in his end. Once inside, the rest of the world's gone instantaneously. It no longer needs rendering. It no longer needs processing. That data is excluded. It's gone. He turns around, looks at you, and says, okay, now, you have got some explaining to do, and I'm guessing you can't do any explaining. So, sit down. And he puts his hands on either of your shoulders and just sits you down on a seat. Do you...
Troy sits.
Cool.
He doesn't resist.
He sits you down, and, well, see, this is the thing, Troy. This is not the physical realm. And what you're dealing with is somebody who can bend code to their will. And so he sits you down. I think this is probably a new experience for Troy, as most of Troy's existence is very much, if I don't do something, I don't do something. If my programming says don't do this, I don't do it. And as he puts his hands on your shoulders, that's not his hands on your actual shoulders. That's his code on your code, sitting you down.
Troy? He's not sure why. He's not entirely aware of that. But he likes that.
All right.
He liked it when the hands went on his shoulders.
A flurry of activity. What amounts to analyses and probes and scanners, but in this realm are swirling vortexes of code and bars and lines of bluish energy sweeping around and up and down and over you. Passerby is using this as a remote connection into your system. He is doing a full hardware and system diagnostics. He is poking through every bit of code, all of the firmware. He has taken this opportunity to fully catalog everything that makes you you, because he's intensely curious. He wants to know how a Troybot decided to net run on its own. He has a problem and he wants the answer. And anyone who knows a hacker knows what they get like when they are presented with a problem. This is the type of person that will move heaven and earth to get what they need and or want to answer their question. And after what seems to you to be a few minutes, passerby is head deep in a virtual console and eventually just pops up and then puts his head back down. just grinning momentarily. And all of a sudden, you feel something. Give me a roll.
Zero.
Okay. So for the purposes of narration, I'll explain what he's doing. But Troy is not actually able to sort this out. What's happening is that he has figured out what damaged systems were damaged, and he is essentially recoding your system around that damage, leaving how you're operating intact. He's not touching the free will. He's not touching the change. All he's doing is healing the code. He's making the system work this way. Because right now there's anachronisms within your code. There's subsystems that aren't accessible, and there's calls and functions to them. So he's essentially going through and saying, well, that function call to that location doesn't exist anymore. So let's just remove the function call, because apparently that function call was holding you back and you don't need it anymore. So he's going through and just at a very high level, working out how your code works and patching it up. And when he's done, what he's going to do is install a NetSuite, because he sees a baby hacker. And a baby hacker without tools is, well, pointless. So you just sort of feel processing is not as difficult as it was. What was and took is now almost more fluid. You have a command for that now. You can interpret that information now. You do have data processing. You do know where to reach out on the net for manuals. You do know the concept of human databases and how to access that information. All of that is intrinsic in the suite that he has installed on you. All of a sudden, everything shuts down. And you're just sitting in a house. You're sitting on the first floor, a little recessed cushion area. There's a hollow display that's just the most redundant and hilariously nested technology, as he's programmed a hollow display in a virtual world. And you're just sitting there. And passerby grins and says, well, that should be that. Look, I don't have time to handhold you through like everything, but basically I just gave you, let's just say, a tool belt. I installed some software for you, and you might, when you do your next hack, find it useful. Maybe you won't. But like, welcome to the human net.
I find this place confusing and a bit noisy.
Humans are noisy.
I have noticed this. Noisy and inefficient.
Yeah, we are inefficient. I feel you on that one, my man. So,
are you human?
Oh, I mean, as much as anybody else can be human, I suppose.
How?
Basically, like, my dad, like, knocked some woman up, and she's my mom. And then, like, there's me. Yeah, sort of how it works. It's messy,
I am aware
too.
of copulation. I mean, here, this is...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a few humans back in the day started building this thing. A few of us had a hand here and there. You know, it's a work in progress. You know, it's, you know.
Humans built this.
Yeah, humans built all this. The stuff that you were running through. See, you were basically connecting to the hardware infrastructure of what we call the net, but isn't the net itself. I found you wandering through the wilderness of the electrical wires, basically. I happened to be out on a scouting mission, just keeping an eye on the traffic systems and the various data flows that go throughout the city, and I noticed an anomaly. So I took a dive in and started parsing through the sensor data, and there you were, sitting in the hardware layer, which, I mean, respect. There's not many hackers that get down to that level. I mean, runners these days, they stick to their software levels. Like, I mean, these script kiddies fucking now, they've got layers and layers of software and HUDs on everything. Nobody knows how to get down to that layer anymore. I thought you were some master fucking dude that I've never even heard of before. And then I pull you into existence and realize you're just some fucked up Troy bot who took a hit to the head, got your wires and code crossed, and now you're sentient. Oh yeah, by the way, you're what we call sentient. You're like alive as far as human beings are concerned. Just a heads up on that.
Sentient?
Yeah. Yeah. And I basically weaponized you. So, like, you know, good luck with that. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you. You're back in the fucking lab. He says, good luck with that.
How many seconds? How many seconds was he gone?
About 0.75, maybe 1.25.
Welcome back.
No, I don't think, is he back in his body?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, passerby fucking absolutely dropped you right back.
You got told to sit down and it happened against your will.
He said, good luck.
So, Troy, did you see anything on those cameras?
Oh. All right, well, Troy is jumping back in the net. He's going to go start looking for those cameras.
So now you have a choice. Every time when you go in the net, you can go low level hardware or you can go high level software. Low level hardware is going to be easier for you, but there's a couple of perils that you may have just been sort of tangentially coming aware of every time you go in that way. And then the software layer is safer, but not safer. It's much slower, and it means that there's more chance for RNG to happen along the way. Intrusion detection systems, hunter-killer software, mods and admins, all these sort of thing cruise that layer of the net. So it's up to you. The lower layer provides an existential threat, and the software layer provides a cyber threat. So,
I mean, do you guys want to take motorcycles and I'll drive a mech? What are we doing? I mean, that's a bop. Honestly, that's a bop.
We should get an idea before we just go in.
And can you speak English, please?
We need to do some real scouting.
Okay, thank you. Jesus Christ, fucking Zoomers.
We are living rent-free in your head, Patty.
Sheesh.
What?
Oh, it hurts.
I've just chosen to stop trying to interpret what they're saying at this point, Patty.
I feel like
You can clap back all you want, but
this has to be an early form of dementia, correct? Right. This has to be
Karen, they're trying to drag us. They're trying to drag us now. What's the tea, fam?
Okay, Karen and Dalton suddenly have their communicators display a HUD of Krill's internal web searches, and it's nothing but the equivalent of Urban Dictionary, and it's every time they've said something.
Just a live feed of translation.
Is that registering on ours?
It's just like this is the translation log.
Is this registering on ours too?
No.
Yeah, you know what? Sure, fuck it. Everyone except for notably Troy. The only thing Troy has is in his inbox a like, would you like to install? That's just waiting for him. That's the only thing that's waiting there for him.
I will say Troy probably does have like some kind of, slang database from all sorts of eras. So I think he, for the most part, understands what they're saying.
No, I mean for the communicator. You
I'm
don't
aware
have
of
the
that part. I'm
communicator
just saying.
feeder. Okay.
But
I turned to Jacob real quick. So they were saying this before the nukes dropped?
I thought that was like some weird radiation shit that was going on with
Yeah.
their brains.
I thought like maybe they spent too much time in like a bad zone and then it just fried their brains a little bit.
I can see why the nukes dropped now.
Yeah, fuck, man. These fucking Zoomers with their
Dalton,
Now
can you
that's
believe they're
connection.
still using Urban Dictionary? It's super cheeky.
Oh, jeez.
Microplastics.
Okay, that one hit hard. Fuck you.
High key, these kids are nerds.
Okay. Spill that tea for me, babe.
Oh my fucking god.
Dalton is just talking to Karen about old Kim Kardashian memes.
Oh my fucking god.
Is it a purple or a blue dress? Or gold?
Yes,
It was
it was blue or gold? Because I see blue
white
I-
and gold or blue and black.
And black. Yeah.
I elbow
White
Jacob.
and
Like,
cold. Sorry.
did you?
I'm setting out to do my very best on this job. I am going to catch hands all day. I am going to make sure that everyone gets out alive. And if I have to run over every bad guy or person that is after us to do it, I will do everything in my power to actually achieve some kind of goddamn success today. So yeah, as like obviously having fun ripping it on the open road, but as we get closer and closer to where we want to start, maybe getting Krill out of the trunk or get Troy to like start net running into like subsystems of security, like I will slow down and taper off that engine.
Jacob's just fucking vibrating right now at this point. He's got the bass from Gotti and he's got fucking Krill and now he's got, just Patty bouncing on him and everything. He's just having a bad time right now in this fucking super.
Bouncing on your boy's lap.
Yeah, you're
Do
not
not.
reaching.
Yeah,
No,
I'm-
you're
you
not
just
even
gotta wait.
reaching.
I can't. I'm just like I'm stuck. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just
Karen.
fucking stuck.
It's a
Karen,
very
open the door,
small
open the door,
backseat.
Open the door. Open the door. Open the door.
It's
Oh,
just a
Karen
squash
definitely
Jacob
presses the
under-
trunk
under
button
Patty.
first. Or has Dalton do that.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a control on either side. It's a pretty modern car.
And Karen slowly opens the
Mom.
door. It takes her dear sweet time getting out.
I just like dive out and just like land on my stomach